We are slowly inching towards the release of Altered somewhere around August. That's still a few months to go, but there will be a total of 6 different factions to choose from. And as with every new TCG, it's going to be difficult to decide which faction you want to invest yourself in. That's where Tabletop Goodness comes in. This series is going to give you insights into the different playstyles, factions and makeups of the respective starter decks, so all that's left for me to say is lean back, enjoy the ride. We'll be covering the first 2 factions today, Axiom and Bravos. Enter Axiom, a people of mechanics and engineers convinced that technology and science should help spread the power of alteration to all. Well, at least that's what the blurb reads like, you know. Axiom really builds their strategy on landmarks and powerful reserve synergies. You will be represented by the hero duplicate Sierra and Oddball, who seem to be quite chill on the ledge of that mountain over there, by the way. They have a powerful ability out of the box though that lets you create a Brassbuck 2/2 token if you play a permanent with hand cost 3 or more. If you decide to play Axiom, you will come across many landmarks that you will want to play as early as possible. And your deck has a whopping 11 of them, so that's gonna be plenty, I'd say. In terms of characters, you can rely on the helping hands of the Foundry mechanic, who can lower the play cost of your next permanent if discarded from the reserve, thus giving you early access to some more expensive cards, and cards like Keelan Elemental and Axiom Salvager help build up your reserve. A good strategy in mid to late game, for example, could be to play Brassbuck Hive to create large amounts of Brassbuck tokens and combo that with Gian, so that every time a robot type joins the expedition, it automatically gains 1 boost. Robot Army, a go! There's a lot of cards that you use to build up your reserve and thus extend your hand, giving you faster access to both characters and landmarks in turn. On the opposite side of today's starter deck face-off, we have Bravos. They are adventurous. Oh, and they are glorious by their own definition. The Bravos push us forward as one must always overcome its own limits in order to endure and vanquish. Now, if you decide to go with Bravos, you will often find yourself replaying characters from the reserve to increase their strength. That means you shouldn't be shy to either cycle them by playing them or using one of your card abilities to directly play them into your reserve. They can also give you more mana orbs ahead of the curve, meaning you get a quicker chance to bring your otherwise late game A game to the table again. Some of Bravos' characters are massive, so massive they have the keyword gigantic, counting towards both expeditions at the same time. You will be represented by the hero duplicate Kojo and Buddha. Buddha is literally on fire, I mean look at him. And so is this ability to create a 2/2 token on every turn. Cards like Ratatoskr or Haven Trainee can be played from the reserve to give them extra boosts, making their comeback even stronger. Did I mention massive creatures before? They are expensive, yes, admittedly, but if you manage to play them, that's gonna change the tide in your favor. Take a look at Shenlong, for example, a over-the-top dragon that boasts stats of 999. Well, he's a deity after all, and its tough 1 ability makes it even harder to be targeted by your opponent. Oh, what about Atlas, the handsome titan over there? Going to count towards both your expeditions at the same time, isn't that neat? Pair those cards with the spindle and you get a pretty strong setup right there. If you like to play cheap cards and bringing them back for even more bang, Bravos will fit your playstyle perfectly. Well, that's 2 strong contestants in the run already. My personal preference between those 2 factions would be Bravos, as I'm a real sucker for using boomerang effects and keeping your opponent at bay before wreaking havoc with the big guns. Would you go on an expedition with Axiom or with Bravos? Let me know in the comments down below. Like and subscribe to be notified about the next starter deck face-off, and see you again soon on Tabletop Goodness.